Take us into your thinking here. How carefully did you study this? Did you actually take a look at what the chances were you might win an election?
Well, I said throughout 2017 that I was going to do, and our organization was going to do, whatever it was that would have the greatest positive difference in trying to move America back to a just and prosperous future. And I kept saying that, and I think people thought that that was some sort of double talk. But the fact of the matter is, the things that I said on Monday that we're going to be doing, that I'm going to be doing, which is organizing and mobilizing young voters, doubling down on the need to impeach campaign, trying to provide a voice for progressives, are things that there's nobody else really trying to do. Whereas I believe that in California, the kinds of offices that I could run for have reputable, responsible, decent candidates. I don't know exactly who all they're going to be, but I'm highly confident that's true. So when you think about making a positive difference, I believe that what I'm doing and what our organization are doing is the best chance for us to stand up and move the country back with a group of other people to a much better way of thinking about the future and a much better chance for Americans.
So Tom, that was a very specific goal of a just and more prosperous America you want to accomplish. Give us the means you get to it from. Is that by changing the House of Representatives from Republican to Democrat? Is that by changing the Senate? Is that by impeaching the president? What's the quickest route to that goal that you have?
Well, first of all, we said that we are going to organize our youth mobilization effort around the need to flip the House. We are already in 10 states on the ground trying to register, engage young voters, and that is the organizing principle. Now, of course, in those states, those are highly contested congressional districts involved in highly contested states that have Senate races and governor's races and legislative races. So when you talk to voters and get them involved and encourage them to go to the polls, they don't just vote for Congress. Of course, they vote up and down the ballot. So what we're really talking about doing there is having a broader democracy with much better participation by the largest age cohort in the United States, bigger than the boomers, and people who traditionally turn out at a fraction of what other age cohorts do. So we're saying, let's have a broad democracy. The answer to our problem is more small d democracy.
And did you go district by district? I'm really interested in the methodology. I mean, you are a very successful investor through rigorous analysis. Are you going district by district, and how are you picking the districts that you really want to target?
Well, I think that it's easy to see by looking at history two things: where there were close races, but also where there were close races, particularly where Mrs. Clinton won that district. So in California, there are 7 districts where she won the district, but a Republican congressperson was elected. So that's a first cut at thinking about where are the competitive districts. I think it's also true that if you listen to what I said on Monday and what I've been saying all year, we have a rogue and dangerous administration, and we're going to double down on the need to impeach campaign, because we felt from the beginning this president has met the criteria for impeachment. He is dangerous to the American people, and we want to enable Americans to have a voice through our petition and to build that voice so that elected officials have to listen to the people in thinking about their job.
Well, and as you and I have talked about before, Tom, those two things are very much connected. Flipping the House and impeaching the president are very much connected because the impeachment bill has to come out of the House. So how are those connected in your new efforts, or are they connected? Are you looking specifically at areas where you can get candidates who would favor your request for impeachment?
We're not. I mean, we see that one is a campaign specifically on need to impeach, and the other is on-the-ground mobilization that it takes a long period of time we've worked on those grassroots organizing issues for years, and presumably will work on them for years to come. But the biggest thing, the real way that they're connected, David, is we see 2018 literally as a fight for the soul of America. It's that stark. We believe that there are two shockingly different visions of what kind of country we want to be, of who we are, and how we should proceed. And we want to make sure that in every part of this, that case is made, that there is a positive way to proceed that's inclusive, that recognizes the dignity and rights of every American, and that builds towards a prosperous future built on sustainability and inclusiveness. And the other side is the antithetical opposite. We think that what this administration is doing is 100% wrong. And we could even talk about things that happen today where you just shake your head and go, are you kidding me? Those are your values? That just stinks.
Okay, so what are your odds? What do you put your chances at? You've done this analysis. What do you think the likelihood is actually of the House going Democrat in November?
David, I actually see this differently from making odds as an investor. So I spent 35 years thinking about the future and trying to think about it that way, but I see this completely differently. When I say it's a fight for the soul of America, you don't make a bet on the fight for the soul of America. You put down your flag for what you believe in. And you don't sit there and think, is it going to work? Or if it's not going to work, we're not going to do it. We're going to do it because we have to do it. And that's what is at stake. So I don't think of that in terms of odds or likelihood or is it going to work. I think about we absolutely have to do this. So I'm not interested in the college try. I'm not interested in the odds. I'm only interested in succeeding.
Well, that's my question, actually. And what is success? Does the House have to go Democrat for you to succeed? Or if you get more moderate Republicans in, is that enough?
You know, I'd like to say that's enough, David. But the fact of the matter is, unless there's a change in the dysfunctional and radical right, national capital that we have, then we are going to proceed down a divisive and destructive road for our whole country. So winning is the only way to change Washington, D.C. Getting rid of this president is the only way to change the values and culture that he's trying to push on our country. So from my standpoint, no, this is not about, I really wish we were in the traditional America where we shared the same values, we put the American people first, and we compromised. That is not where we are. That is not what the Republicans have done. That is not on the table. I only wish it were. The fact of the matter is, this really is a fight for the soul of America, and we have to win that fight because the alternative is absolutely rotten.